Hey folks, it's Fernando doing a video for the More Survivalists, and today I'm going to be talking about kerosene heaters like the one that I have here. This is just brand new. I bought it just a few days ago. It's Corona RX 2485 Turbo. The turbo denomination, I'm really not sure what it means. It's a pretty standard Corona, all things considered. These are made in Japan. I know some folks in US don't know about Corona much, and the thing with Japanese kerosene heaters is that they are very common in Japan because of seems to be a cultural thing in Japan. They don't have like central heating in most buildings, so you have the situation where you have an entire building made with no central heating. They have usually use alternative methods of heating, very creative ones using electricity, but in general kerosene is one of the most common ones. So what is it so great about kerosene heaters, and why is it that you should know about them? Basically, as far as I know, and if you know of anything else, let me know in the comment section. I'd sure like to hear about it. There is no other way that's more efficient, more compact, and more to the point for putting heat in a room than with a kerosene heater. You can have, for example, a wood burning stove, right? That involves a certain amount of wood. It involves a certain structure and a certain type of building so as to operate it. You know, having a wood burning stove in a small apartment really is not much of a solution. This is, and again, the issue about how compact and simple and straightforward this is. You basically just go get yourself one of these. I'm going to be leaving a link below in Amazon for something similar. I don't know if they have the Corona ones, but sometimes they change the brand names, but it's basically the same thing. Especially the convection heaters, the larger one, I think it's 20,000 BTUs. Those are pretty good and not expensive at all. You just buy one of these or some other kerosene heater. You buy your kerosene and that's it. I mean, that is it. You have a way in which you can put this in in storage, and if something goes wrong, you just go, you turn it on, and that is it. It's very safe as well. Safer than gasoline, safer than natural compressed gas. Those Mr. Heater things are nice and all, but this is safer because with kerosene you can throw a lit match in there. It will not ignite. It will just extinguish the match. Really the most simple way that I know of. So let's just go through it and explain in case you really have no idea what I'm talking about here. Basically works with a wick. You have your fuel, you have your kerosene heater, and you have this glass element here, which is pretty high-tech. I mean, it's a combination of simple technology yet high-tech ingenuity as well. For example, you operate it this way. You rotate, and there you will see the wick coming up. Right? You see that? There you have the wick coming up. That's where you have the kerosene in here, and with this wick, this is a fiberglass wick, so there's no risk of burning the wick when running out of fuel. You just ignite that, and it starts, glowing and getting red hot. If it topples, if it falls on the sides, think of it in terms of Japan earthquakes. If this falls, extremely safe. It has a topple mechanism that it just does this. Just goes down and extinguishes the flame immediately. You can do it just by pressing a button like I did. Okay, you have this shut off button, you push it, same thing. Or if not, you can just lower it slowly and extinguish it doing just that. It works with the kerosene that you put in this bottle here. You just pull it out, you fill it up with kerosene using a little pump like that. You fill it up, and this is going to be working, I think it's 4 liters, and it burns for like 15, 17 hours. The manual said 17 hours. Wouldn't be surprised if it's very close to that. You don't need to plug it in anywhere. I mean, that it's one of the beauties about it. You do use a couple batteries, right, that go back there. And if not, you could even use a lighter. You can just, now the thing is, the manual says don't use a lighter, use the battery ignition thing that I'm going to be showing you right now how it works. But I know for a fact, because I have other kerosene heaters, and I actually had had another one very similar to this one, and you can just light it with a lighter. Don't use a match if at all possible, because there's the head of the match usually falls off and there's more soft. This is a little bit cleaner. My favorite utility lighter, the clipper with this long neck. That's very convenient for this sort of thing. But really just get a few batteries and keep things both simple and as according to manual. So we already have fuel in there because I already tested it. You're supposed to turn it like this a couple of times to make sure that it's well centered. Right, close, and you bring up the wick using the wheel. Slowly, nicely, nothing out of the ordinary. When you get to the ignition part there, you just press the ignition button and an element goes on the side and lights your heater. You could just lift it on the side like that, and lift it like that, and with the lighter ignite it yourself. But this is the way it's supposed to work. Now you wouldn't be keeping the fuel this close, but again, it's extremely very safe. It starts making a little bit of noise like that. And regarding smell, one of the big concerns people have with kerosene heaters is the smell. Yes, when you light it up first, it usually has a little bit of an odor. Kerosene heaters basically work, have two keys to them. It's the fuel you use and the condition of the wick. Fuel, wick. If those two are in good shape, pretty much the rest is just folded metal and little else. Of course, the glass element is important, but that's the key to your kerosene heater. If your fuel is good, this is Toyotomi, which is the brand name fuel for the electronic, more techy heaters like the one in there in the picture, but of course works here as well. It's a very clean one. It has a little bit of a blue color, but I didn't have much of high hopes because of that little blue tint. But man, it's maybe the best burning kerosene for a heater that I tried. Really no odor. This one, for example, when it's on, now it starts glowing. Once it's glowing like that, it's burning extremely efficiently, and there's no smell whatsoever when this is burning. That's just fantastic. And again, 15-17 hours of this working. Now I know if you still see in the reflection, I'm wearing actually shorts right now. It's really not cold here where I am, so this is more of some of those colder day things. If something goes wrong and you don't have any electricity and such, this is what you bring out. Now, in a place where you have lots of snow, this is a matter of life and death. So folks usually talk about your generator, but you see that a lot of people out there don't know about these kerosene heaters. This is the thing that you should have in any cold location, because if something goes wrong, even if your generator breaks, this is not going to be breaking. I mean, it's as simple as it gets. The fuel, the wick, the heater, nothing really to go wrong. You leave it in a box for years, and whenever you have a problem, you bring this out. You can use it. You have other things as well. You can have your wood burning stove, right? But a wood burning stove means you need to have a certain place where wood is available, or at the very least you have a place for storage. You guys, maybe you're watching this in a small apartment. And in a small apartment, you can even use this as well. People in Japan use these in small apartments every single day. They have done so for years. No problem. You open a window a little bit at first because of when you turn it on at first, it has a little bit more of a smell. You open a window or you take it outside. Once it's glowing like this, you bring it back inside and you enjoy the nice heat. You do need, especially in a very small room, you need to have some ventilation. Just a crack on the door or window is enough. And I would definitely recommend having a carbon monoxide detector just in case, so that's to keep things safe. But it's extremely safe. I know that some people, especially if you're on in some apartments, that you're not allowed specifically by contract to have a kerosene heater or a heater that uses fuel, oh man, even then, I would say at the very least have it. Don't use it, have it. You don't need to practice using it. It's as simple as you just saw. There's really no learning curve involved. I would at least have it, and if it comes to a matter of life and death, then so much for a contract. Just keep it safe and simple, and you will not have any problems. But for what, $100 and a little bit else for some fuel, you have a couple weeks worth of heating, and may make the difference between life and death. No joke. You have again, the radiant heater radiates that heat in one direction. That's nice for example, in a living room or a family room. You project that heat where the people are gathered. This specific model, what I liked about this one, I have another one that just too much of a mess to get out right now, but this model, the very nice thing that it has going for it is that it has an open top, as you see. And in the website, in Corona's website, it says that you can use it for simple cooking. That's whatever they mean by that. But for boiling water, it's actually possible, entirely possible to do that with this. So you have your heat here. You can actually cook on it. And man, look at the amount of space that this takes up. Nothing. And you have already the nice heat coming out. I just love these things. I don't know. I'm a sucker for these kerosene here, especially the nice ones, the ones made in Japan, the Corona, or the other one they have. What is it called? Rainbow. I know, the Moonlighter. I have a previous video. If you go through the channel, the Kerosene Moonlighter. It has that would be a convection heater, the one that has like the very bright flame there in the middle, and it actually provides light as well. So there's no power. You're cold as you could be. You turn on your kerosene heater. You have a light. You have heat, and you're also able to cook on top of it. What more could you possibly ask? And for something that is mechanically simple as it could possibly be, no electronics involved, nothing, no wedging, no complications, and very safe as well, as safe as it could be. So that's gonna be it. I'm gonna be taking this little guy inside just to see how it goes one more time, but very happy with it, all things considered. It's a fantastic item to have, and again, I think it's essential to have one if you live in a location where you could have trouble if you don't have utilities, if you don't have heat. Folks, it's gonna be all for now. Remember to subscribe, share with others. See you on our next video. Have a great day.